you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride. Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. She is up in Winnipeg, holding it down in the snow. I'm here in Arizona, loving the weather. Oh, finally some snow, huh, Hood?
Great. I'm going to go make some snow angels for all of you guys out there and show you what I got to deal with.
Yeah, she lives in Winnipeg, but she thinks she lives in Florida or something like that. She's got it in her head that she needs to live in, like, Florida or California. But
That's so true.
You are so not a Canadian.
No, I know.
So, we got an epic show lined up today. A couple of Baja champs on the line. Always fun when we can say that. Jason Voss, teaming with Rob McCachran, taking the overall victory. We're going to have Jason Voss, one half of the Baja 1000 winners. He's going to be on air coming up in the first hour. Also, Branden Sims, we had him on a couple of weeks ago. Amy called it, said he's going to be the champ. You know what? He put his... he put his foot on the floor and made it happen. He is the champ, so we're going to have UTV champ, or I guess UTV Turbo champ. There's two champs in the UTV division. Anyways, Branden Sims won his division. He is on air. And then hour number 2, we got Joe Duncan. He's calling in. He's going to give us the lowdown. He is the event organizer for X Games' Snowbike. We had some big press releases coming out on snowbikes. He's going to be calling in. We got Camden Murphy, Monster Jam racer, former NASCAR driver. All that and more coming up in a few minutes here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver and Amy Hood here. I almost forgot your name there, Hood. I was trying to slide in like something really cool nickname, and yeah, I was trying to slide in a really cool nickname and something that tied in with the snow, and I was like, the first thing, I don't want to even say where I was going with that. Anyways.
I have no idea. I don't know where your mind is at today. I mean, it's Tuesday. Come on, get it together, Jim.
I know. It was a long day yesterday, 20 hours. I was like, I don't know, 6 hours in the car both directions. I got up at 3 a.m., drove to Studio City, did 3 episodes of television for Terracross, and then drove all the way back to my house and was in bed at like 10:30 at night or something like that. It was a long day.
I had a pretty long day, too, yesterday. So, I got a month off right now before my first round of Monster Jam in Nashville, and I'm like, I'm getting bored of the gym. Like, that's all I do is work out.
You're getting bored of the gym? Jeez, you talk to me like every week. What?
I know. I'm getting no, not of you, Dad.
I know. I'm just screwing with you. I'm just screwing.
Stop talking. You're full of humor today. I can tell. Really dry humor.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I need to switch things up. Like I sometimes get bored of like lifting weights and doing cardio. So I'm trying to find some new ways. So I signed up. I used to do hot yoga all the time. So I signed up for unlimited hot yoga, Pilates, and bar. Whatever bar is, I have no idea. I think it's like kind of like a ballet, Pilates, hot yoga mix, whatever. So I decided, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go full into this. I'm going to go for a month every day, maybe 2 classes a day, whatever, try it out. Well, I can't move today, guys. I literally cannot move. Yesterday, I was whining and crying about how sore I was because I got up and I did a 5:30 a.m. morning hot yoga class. And me being the competitive woman that I am, signed up for advanced. Like, I'm not no amateur. I'm a professional athlete. So I signed up for the advanced yoga class. Well, I am regretting every single second of that decision today. And I can't move. And it's the funniest thing ever. But honestly, I have to, hats off to all those people who actually do advanced yoga. It's really, really hard. And it's an amazing workout. And I'm definitely going to stick with it because I think I'm going to be in amazing shape after I sweated another human being in that room. I was like slipping and sliding all over the mat on my own sweat.
So what is the difference in hot yoga and cold yoga? Like you're saying you went to hot...
You're in a room at like 100 degrees.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So they just...
Yeah, it's like really nice though because...
It's like doing it in a sauna.
I find like training for outdoors, it's a great thing because, especially in outdoor motocross, when you're in the middle of summer in California racing and you're not really ever exposed to that type of heat and, breathing in that heat, this is a really good way I find of cross training for that for sure. Like that's when I was racing motocross competitively, I actually, really focused on hot yoga for a while, but I was in way better shape than I was now because I can't move today.
Yeah,
parts of my body hurt that I didn't even know existed. Okay, like my earlobes hurt. Okay,
your earlobes. Yeah. Oh man, you're getting over dramatic now, Hood. Come on now. Oh. So, yeah, it's Thanksgiving week. I know it's Thanksgiving week up there, too. It's one of the holidays we share, right? It's one we've got in common with Canada.
Thanksgiving was in October. Come on. We're way ahead of train. We know how important food is up here in Canada, so we have Thanksgiving early in the year because we want to eat all that goodness.
I swear I thought that we shared Thanksgiving. I guess I was totally wrong there. So
you are wrong. Very wrong.
Well, it's Thanksgiving week here in the States, so yeah, there you go. I don't know. Everybody's got like half a week off.
Thanksgiving's like one of my favorite times of year. Yeah. Lots of food. Everything is, hang out with family. It's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely a good thing.
Lots of food.
Speaking of good things, I got to slide in my Project Action plug for the week. I had Ronnie Renner on last week. Him and I talked for like over an hour. You know how Renner gets, and him and I just started talking and talking.
I have to listen to that.
Huh?
That one's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
What does he have to say? What's new with him?
I don't know. Like even Renner said, he's like, at some point, he's like, we need to do one episode for each thing I'm involved in. Like he's into SR1s and UTV racing and building UTVs, and now he's into Subarus and rally and dirtfish and snow bike and regular bike and cross carts, and now he's got a new KTM adventure bike, and he's going to start doing adventuring on this new KTM adventure bike. And
awesome.
I'm like, seriously. And he told me, he's like, I got to
literally need a show for each of his activities. He's
it's crazy.
The king of activities.
Yeah, he is going to be an X Games snow bike competition. He was one of the first ones announced, so he's pretty pumped on that. But it was pretty cool to talk about like the origins of his career and like how he got his Red Bull deal and in his first couple of years, you know what I mean, as an FMX guy, and in his transition to like step up and free riding, and how he's brought razors in, and like it was really a cool, to get the history of Ronnie Renner. He did it in Renner. What's that?
Renner is just. And once I met Ronnie, I can officially say this, and I hope he's listening, but I will probably send him a text later and tell him. But honestly, if there's anybody that I aspire to be in this industry, it's Ronnie, because he does the family thing, he has kids and a beautiful wife, and he's such a decorative athlete with so many accomplishments. But he's not one of those guys who's like, cool, I accomplished all the stuff, I'm gonna hang out in my house and go golf every day. Like, he continues his own legacy and opens more doors and tries new things, and like he is the professional fun haver. Like he is the male version of who I want to be, and I really try to kind of follow his career and his pathways, and just and also his take on the industry and how much like he enjoys himself and loves what he does and doesn't take stuff so seriously, and like that's why he has a long career. And I really, really admire Ronnie. I really do, and I really hope that my career can follow the same path as him once I get a bit older. I do, for sure.
It was cool. I know Renner pretty well, and like I learned a lot, and it's just kind of cool. And he's such a laid back guy, and
he's a wild. He has a wild side. I mean, he's a wild child.
Oh, he is.
But, it's awesome.
Yeah, but no, and it's funny because like he's talking about his kids coming up and how they're wild, and like his daughter is the wildest one out of them all, and like he's like she's gonna be like. He's like, if I had to pick one that's going to be like, the next, he's like, it's her. He's like, she's just nuts. Was talking about how he's transitioning his kids into all this stuff now and things like that. And it was just a fun interview, and always fun to catch up with him. And it's like we have him on this show and we get like 12 minutes with him, Then it was just like he and I just started talking, and yeah, it was good stuff. So if you missed that, you missed any of the episodes, go over to iTunes, go to podcast1.com. But if you go to iTunes, rate, review, subscribe. We're there, and appreciate all you guys who've tuned in so far, and things are definitely going well with that show. We got to get Hood on there more often, and life would be good, right?
Been on twice, so I feel privileged. Thanks.
Yeah, no, definitely good stuff. And we got Brandon Sims coming up here in just a little bit after the break, and I don't know. It's about all I got so far for our intro, Hood.
I'm going to say, Jim, do I have to carry the show today?
Yeah,
I have to tell everybody, I just got back from Florida, so this is also another reason that I am looking at the snow and my stomach is turning. I actually got to head down to Feld Industries, or Feld Entertainment Incorporated. I mean, the place is like a city. It's like its own city itself. It was out unreal. Like I kind of like, as I'm entering the gates, I got one of those moments that any professional motorsport athlete would probably get entering the building of Feld. It was very surreal, and it was almost one of those like pinch me, mom, I've made it moments.
I heard they have heard Monster Jam has like this garage that has like 50 monster trucks in there all lined up. It's like the world's biggest garage.
I believe it, and they have two. Like it's not just one. Like they have all the fabrications and you know they have a garage here or down there. Not here. I'm not even there anymore. See, I am transplanted in Florida. They have a garage there. They have the Paxton shop, and they have the North Carolina, the Digger shop, Digger's Dungeon. But the one obviously at Feld headquarters is, I mean, you could lick the floor. It's so clean and beautiful, and it was really a surreal experience. There's all, you know, there's like cutouts of Ricky Carmichael, and there was actually one of Cole Seeley, and I put my arms around them. I'm like, what's up, guys? And there's a Kevin Windham, like, full motorcycle, you know, I mean, it's it looks like a factory dirt bike hanging from the wall. And, yeah, it was insane. And then they have all the Disney and Ringling Brothers and, you know, every other, you know, pot that they dip into, and it was just really amazing. And I really felt like, again, one of those mom, I've made it moments. Like, I'm here, I'm learning from the best of the best, and, you know, the biggest entertainment industry in the world, the biggest entertainment companies, you know, it's just, wow, like, this is so cool. I was like a little kid in a candy store.
Nice.
So it was awesome.
All right. Well, we got to take a short break. We come back. We got Baja 1000 UTV champ Branden Sims on the line. All that and more coming up.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP 1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and looks like we got my buddy Branden Sims on the line, trying to patch Amy in here. We're having a phone issue. You there, Branden?
I'm here.
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Hey, the champ is here. The champ is here.
All right, we got the phone issue fixed. Yeah, no, sorry for the delay, Branden. We had a little bit of a phone issue there for some odd reason, so I had to patch Amy in a backwards way. But we got everybody here on the show, so life is good now.
Awesome. Sounds like we're all here together.
Yeah, for sure. Well, congrats,
dude.
dude.
The champ is here. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about you because I called it. I gave you the title of the champ, and you, thank goodness, you earned. You lived up to my expectations there, Branden. Congratulations.
Hey, it was a lot of work, but we made it happen.
Dude, it was, and I got to tell you, I was kind of following along online and stuff. I wasn't down there, but you guys, I mean, you were there all day long, and it just, you know how Baja is. It's not over until it's over, and you guys were sitting in a solid second place, and then Matlock, towards the end, he'd been pushing hard all day. It came back to bite him, and bam, you guys snagged that thing right at the end, man. It had to feel good.
Oh, man, it was, I was happy with the second place, going into the finish, knowing that we were, right there the whole day. But, we preserved our car, and, we ran a fast pace, but we knew it was going to be a long race, so we knew what it was going to take to finish it, with a car that was still together. And apparently that ended up paying off for us in the end.
Yeah, well, how does that feel? Like, you're sitting here, you in your mind, you're like, all right, we got second place. Because, I mean, it was, like 15 miles from the finish when you finally got around him, right? Or, almost 900 miles into this race. And, yeah, how was that? You come around a corner and Matlock's sitting there. I mean, what's the emotions going through you then?
Well, I was coming around one of the corners. And, towards the end where you start seeing Ensenada, we're 20 miles up in the hills, but you can still see down, you can see the ocean and everything. So, you're getting close, and that's just a sigh of relief right there, knowing that you've actually, made it that far and you can see the finish line basically. So, there was a sigh of relief there. And then I was coming around a corner and I looked at the side of the track and I saw, a tire and wheel assembly sitting on the side of the track. And I said to my co-driver, I said, dude, that was a Matlock tire and wheel, and I know the only Matlock that was in front of us was Wayne, and I know exactly what tire and wheel setup he runs. So there was a wheel and tire sitting on the side of the track, all in one piece, just sitting there. And I'm telling my co-driver, I said, that's not good, or that's good for us. I don't know what's going on, but for some reason there's an entire wheel and tire assembly sitting there. So not maybe a mile further, we go up and we go down through a little dip, and I'm like, whoa, that looks like Matlock's co-driver sitting on the back of his car. And they were just creeping along, and I got up next to him, and it was Matlock, and I throw up my arms to him, and, out of friendship, I was bummed for him, because that's not what you want to see is, one of your teammates and friends having an issue right at the end of the race, that they ran such a clean and fast race, So once we got ahead of him, basically my co-driver's like, okay, let's just keep the car together. I don't think I went over 50 miles an hour once we passed him because my co-driver was freaking out, telling me not to ruin the car, and so it's kind of a crazy ending to a long race.
Yeah, that's definitely, man. I just following along, and it was like, wow. I mean, so you've won the Baja 1000 before, right? It was with Johnny. I mean, how's this one feel? Now you've got the Mint 400, you've got the Baja 1000, you've got the UTV World Championship. I mean, you're just stockpiling these, man. We're building the resume, right?
Man, it's been a really good year for us, as far as, I went down with Johnny and did a big leg of his race in 2 years ago in the 1000 that we won, but, it's not the same going down and doing it on somebody else's team. I still got the win for the team, but it wasn't my personal win. So it didn't feel the same. This one, going down on my own program, setting up the logistics, setting up everything that was involved with the race, it was a whole bunch, the amount of accomplishment I felt once we finished was totally different with this one. Just because I had to set it all up myself and gather a team together that was going to be a successful team. So the amount of, pride that I got from this one was a lot, and that was a huge difference for this one. So it's been a great year. I think I've got one more race that I really want to win, and that's King of the Hammers. That's the only one of the big ones that's left. I've gotten second place twice there, so that one's coming up here in the next couple months. So hopefully I can add that to the resume. That would be the next big win for me.
Yeah,
that's some redemption.
Yeah. Well, and,
that's right. Yes, I've gotten second twice, and it's just been, they call me Queen of the Hammers now.
Oh, hey. I thought you were pretty good too, sometimes.
Man, well, and you got what? We're 2 weeks out from Best in the Desert finale there in Pahrump, and I know you're right in the hunt for a championship there too, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, this weekend that I've got, Thanksgiving coming this week, I'm usually at the sand dunes enjoying, a relaxing time, but now that I've got a car that's got, 900 miles racing on it, I've got to go through my whole car this week and weekend and get it ready for the Pahrump race because, yes, I'm sitting first in points there, and this is going to be a race to determine the championship. So I think all I have to do is go in and finish Pahrump, and I will clinch the championship. So I just got to go in with a well-prepped car and have a good, clean race at Pahrump, and we should be able to talk again and hopefully about a Best in the Desert championship.
Yeah, well, I will say this, dude. If you win the Best in the Desert championship, we'll have you on the next week after that, too. We'll just keep these rolling, man. I don't know. We're just going to have to slide in for a third host.
I don't have one problem with that at all. That's these are good phone calls. I like them.
Yeah. So no, seriously though, your car, you did 900 miles. I know what a car looks like after a long race. You're 2 weeks out. You've got a full prep to do. Was the car in pretty good shape, or was there? Because sometimes there's cracks that you don't see until you start prepping and things like that. Do you have to take this thing all the way down to the frame before the Pahrump race?
I'll probably pull all the suspension off. There's definitely some items that took their wear toll on them. I've been kind of checking it out last night. I wanted to get home and get a good night's sleep. Last night was my first good night's sleep since I've been home, and I'll probably get back on it tonight. But yes, I don't know until I get the panels off of it, skid plate, stuff like that, to see if the frame took much beating. But I know when I was driving it, the car didn't seem to bottom out much. I think the suspension did its job and soaked up most of the harsh terrain. So as far as, I think I'm just going to have to replace some joints here and there, just check bolts, take them all off, re-Loctite them, make sure all the bolts are in good shape. But I don't think it's going to be extensive prep. I'm pretty confident that the car went through that race with minor issues.
Well, and I gotta ask, because we talked about this before when we had you on, and it's always the 2-seat versus 4-seat. And obviously, you've got a 2-seat. You went and you just won the Baja 1000. Nobody's going to argue with that. But I got to ask, because Burnett, I had him on, I think, the week after we had you last, and he made it.
Right.
What's that? What's that? You there?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, so we had Burnett on last week, and he made a good point. He's like, Brandon's quick. He's like, with the way this course is set up, he's like, I think the 2-seater might be an advantage as far as the course goes. But he said, look, he says, Brandon's carrying 20 gallons of fuel. We're carrying, well over 30 gallons of fuel. He's like, we can go, almost an extra 100 miles more than Sims can before we have to pit. Started thinking about that. I'm like, that's a blessing and a curse in Baja. Your guys are you're stopping, you're stopping every 100 miles. Guys get to look at the car while they dump fuel, and and if something goes wrong, they can catch it. Meanwhile, these other guys are blowing by the pit. They may be parked on the side of the road with something they would have been able to catch in the pit. Do you feel like that came into play at all?
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said it was a cursing and a blessing at the same time. We did have to pit. I had planned my pits around 100 miles, and sometimes the way the pits worked out, I didn't even get 100 miles. I was pitting at 70 miles every once in a while. So I think we pit I had 9 scheduled pits, and I'm pretty sure the 4-seaters were probably around 4 scheduled pits.
Oh, wow.
So it was a curse and blessing at the same time. Oh, it was. I know that every time we pit, I think almost we got passed by a car. So then we'd have to make up that time that we spent in the pits. But we were able to check out the car, and not that we really found anything wrong that we needed to address, but, we were able to make sure that there was nothing wrong with the car or that needed to be addressed, because there'd been nothing worse than sending the car out and having something happen to it, 10 miles out of the pit or something. So, yeah, it was kind of nice to be able to check over the car and make sure everything looked good. And, continue on from that. But yes, it did kind of hurt us having to pit that many times as well.
Yeah. So I gotta ask. We only got a minute left, but I gotta put you on the spot here. So 2017 Polaris RZR. Obviously, I think they're hitting dealer showrooms anytime. I've had the opportunity to drive one. I'm assuming you've had the opportunity to drive one. At some point, I'm assuming you're upgrading your chassis and your car to the 2017 model. So when Branden Sims upgrades eventually to the 2017, is it going to be a 2 or a 4-seat?
Well, I'll be honest. I've got a 4-seat 2017 sitting right here in my shop. It showed up while I was gone, and that may be the new race car for 2017. We'll just have to see. It's my current car's got a lot of time and miles on it, and it may be time to start with a fresh car, and it'll probably be a 4-seater.
Nice. Well, I'm under the same thing. I ordered a 4-seat for my new race car too, but it was one of those like I'm watching you with a 2-seat, and it's like, man, it's like a juggling act. There's give and take. But
I know.
Yeah.
I think really what it comes down to is the amount of fuel I can carry. That's the biggest issue with my 2-seater. Everything else I love about it. It's just the amount of fuel.
Yeah. All right, Branden. Well, I appreciate it, my friend. Good. Congratulations. Good luck at the Prump race.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully we'll be talking about 2 more weeks. Hopefully we'll be on the phone again, and talking about a championship win.
Sounds good, buddy.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
All right, you too, buddy. All right,
Thank you.
That was Branden Sims, your 2017 or 2016 Baja 1000 champ. We'll be back after this. We've got Jason Voss on the line.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at KCHighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. I'd like to welcome 2016 Baja 1000 champ Jason Voss to the line. How's everything going, Jason?
Couldn't be better, Jim.
Right? Every time I talk to you, it couldn't be better, man. You just keep notching these wins, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing. Well, take us through Baja. I mean, Baja, this is one of those where, people can say, I can solo it and this and that. I'm sorry. 900 miles, you and I have been in trucks. There's a point where, even at Vegas to Reno, where I start getting towards the end if I'm soloing it, and I feel like there's a drop-off there, you know what I mean, where I'm just getting tired and I'm not driving – it peaks. So it comes to the point where a 900-mile race, you got to split it up. You just almost have to. And it seems like you and Rob Mack you've found the formula, man.
Yeah, I think there's a few aspects to that. One 900-mile, 1,000-mile race, soloing it, sure, it can be done, but you're going to lose, the competitive edge there at some point during the night, early morning when the sun's coming up. So there's the endurance side of it. But the other side that Rob and I, pay a lot of attention to is when you split up the race like this for pre-running, you can really concentrate on your section. And, if you're doing 400 miles, 500 miles a piece, it's a lot easier to pre-run, and you can take really, really detailed notes and basically go out there and, know what to expect come race day.
Yeah, instead of concentrating on the bigger picture, you guys can take your small slice of the pie and really fine tune it and get every last detail.
Yeah, and it's paid off for us, for Rob the last 3 years, and for myself, paid off in 2014 with Rob, and again this year where you put in the time down there ahead of time. And you know what to expect. And, I try to pre-run all the way up to race day. So, I'm one of the last few to go around the course before coming back on race day.
Yeah, well, and there's something to said about that, because I've been down there pre-running, and you do it 3 weeks in advance of the race, and then all of a sudden a couple of thousand pre-runners have gone through, and the course, it drastically changes. I mean, you can get there on race day and go, what the hell am I looking at? Like, this is not what I pre-ran.
Yeah, a lot of guys go down early when pre-running first opens, and that's good to go down and get a look at it. But you definitely got to put in, 80% of your time, a lot closer to race day. I like to really concentrate that last week leading up to actual race day. Because like you said, silt beds develop, hill climbs that are no problem 3 weeks in advance, become a problem come race day. And by the time everyone's done pre-running and tearing up the course, and, different lines develop, SCORE does some map changes, VCP changes. So you got to really be there and make sure that you have the latest version of the race course and that you've pre-ran with that latest version to know what to expect.
Yeah. Well, take us through this year's Baja 1000. I mean, your section of the course, I've told people the funny thing about Baja is it's a race, but I know there's been times even, it's been a while since I've raced trophy truck down there, but it's like you come to a section of the course and it's changed so much, you almost have to stop and look and survey things before, and we're not talking stop for 10 minutes, but, sometimes stopping is actually faster than just diving into something and getting yourself into trouble. I mean, is there anything you came across this year that was just absolutely like, whoa, man, what did we get ourselves into that was really just a sketchy spot?
Fortunately, Rob is really, really good. Well, he's good at everything, but he's really good at starting the Baja 1000. He's got patience. He knows it's a long race, and he kind of just works his way slowly up through the pack, doesn't get real excited. And he did a great job at getting me the truck physically on the road first. So big difference, me going out into the night, with no one in front of me for dust. And night driving with lights and down in Mexico with the fog coming in, it could be pretty brutal when you're in the dust, and that's when you can come across a lot of those surprises. But, Rob gave me the truck physically in the lead, and that made all the difference, as far as making my section, much easier. And like I said, we pre-ran all the way up to race day, so we knew what to expect, and, we came across one local booby track that caught us by surprise, and that was kind of our one oh shit moment. But besides that, we really had a pretty smooth race the second half.
Yeah. Well, and, talking about that, obviously, what have you been able to take away from Rob? Because, I look at you, and dude, you're on top of your game. I mean, you've won all these races. You show up to a Best in the Desert race. Jason Voss, you're one of the handful of guys that are expected to win. When you take your truck to, say, the Baja 500 or something like that, you're one of the guys people, expect to win. But, you're teaming yourself with Rob Mack, who I think is approaching like 300 career victories now or something like that. I mean, it's just insane. But, I mean, what have you as a driver, what have you been able to pick up? To me, you're one of the top guys in the sport. But here's Rob with all this experience. I mean, what have you been able to pick up from him?
Yeah, the amount of experience that Rob has is really, it's unreal. Even back from Best in the Desert qualifying, when we used to be able to walk the track ahead of time, I made sure that I was there early to walk it every day, and I know Rob did the same. And Rob always wears Vans shoes, and I would let him go out and walk it a little bit in front of me, and I would follow his footprints to look at what lines he was taking. I always knew there were his footprints in the sand, but just the amount of experience he has, south of the border down in Baja is unreal. The map comes out, and, Rob is very enthusiastic and excited when it comes to racing. I mean, that's what he lives and breathes. And, he starts going over the map with me before we go down there. And I don't know if he expects that I have, 35 plus years of experience down there like he does. He'll start talking about this trail and this section of the course, that's, make your second left after the cactus, and he knows the people's name and to live in the house on the corner, and I don't even know what section of Baja he's talking about at this point, because he just knows everyone down there. He knows the roads, the trails, and the stories that he has of racing down there. I mean, really a lot to learn from him, and racing the 1,000 with him twice now, really a lot of patience. Can't get too excited early on and tear up the equipment, and that's what he's good at. When he gets the truck to myself, or like in 2014, I was the third driver. He handed it off to Andy, and Andy handed the truck to me. But both years I've raced with Rob, I've done the last leg, and when they hand the truck to me, I mean it's like a brand new, freshly prepped truck. I mean everything is good on it. It's not like the brakes are going out, or the fenders are torn off of it, or the steering's acting up. I mean, he hands over a perfectly good race truck, and that's what you got to do. And he's patient. He saves the race truck. So if it comes down to the end, that we still have a good race truck that we can race to the finish if need be.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing that, I've learned about team driving. I've teamed with guys before for certain races, and, man, sometimes you're the second driver, and they show up, and the truck is just completely clapped out. Like you said, no brakes, shocks are overheated. I mean, it's just, it's bad news, and you're like, oh, man, this is not going to be fun. But you look at Rob, and he finishes the race in his truck, and you're the same way, though. You go to the finish line, and normally Jason Voss's truck looks pretty similar to the way it did, when it took off the line, and Rob's the same way. You see other guys at the finish line, hood's missing, rear fenders are gone, light bars hanging off. It's just, it's just funny that you mentioned that, but it's the truth. I mean, you guys are.
Well, which corner did you go around almost?
Yeah. It's just, even that, but, you guys are fast, and I look at the front of your truck, I look at the front of Rob's, and, you guys are guys that you find a way to get around guys in front of you without, banging the front bumper on them, because, you're showing them you're there, but it's doing damage to your truck at the same time. And, some guys, you see the finish line and their front push bar is completely caved in. The front balance is gone. And, they've just been hammering on guys. And, you and Rob pull in and the front of your truck looks pristine. You're such good racers. You guys find ways to get around without damaging your truck and hitting other guys.
Yeah, and I told Rob when he got the truck to me, make sure that all the lights are still on the front bumper. He was starting fifth from qualifying, and I got in the dark and I finished in the dark, so I saw no daylight during my section, and that's a big thing, just having the proper lights set up and not tearing those lights off from hitting the ditch or hitting another competitor, and just preserving the truck really.
Yeah. So what's up next for you, Jason? Obviously, we got the Terriblestown race there in Pahrump, and then, what's on tap for 2017?
Yeah, we got Terriblestown. We're leading the Best in Desert points this year, so we're going there looking for a championship. Going into 2017, we're gonna run Best in Desert again. And then as far as the Mexico races go, we'd like to go down and race our truck at the Baja 500 again. We didn't this year. The previous 3 or 4 years we had been down there, and I'll be driving with Rob again at the 1,000 next year. We've already been talking about it. So, it's going to be a full year again.
Yeah. I got to bring it up because, I look at things and, you've pretty much your accomplishments, every year, some more and more wins and things like that. I mean, I guess the logical extension to you, and now you've got Rob who you can pick his brain and things like that. I mean, any chance we ever see you jump into short course and do some stuff in Lucas?
I'd love to. It's just a matter of having the time to do it. Yeah. Rob has I believe he still has in his shop a spare Pro 2 sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to get me out on the track for some practice days. So maybe we'll make that happen this year.
Yeah, I'd be pumped to see you, even if it was just, an event just to, get your feet wet and check it out. I think Tanner Faust, you let Tanner run it at 1 or 2 events before, but
yeah,
I think it'd be cool just to see you go out there and get a feel for it and, bang doors and, see if, I know it's one of those things where you jump into it, and from what I understand, it's so different than desert racing. It's not like you can expect to go out and win your first race, but it's one of those where, you can tell right away if a guy's got the knack for it or not.
Yeah, and it definitely looks exciting, Don't get me wrong, it looks like it'd be a good time for sure. So I'd like to get in a Pro 2 and get out on a track, just get some laps in and see what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, I got to ask, you mentioned Terriblestown. I can't remember, what were you racing the last time Terriblestown when Best in the Desert was running that event?
We were racing Pro Truck back then.
I thought so.
I believe we did 2 races out there in the Pro Truck class, before we moved from Terriblestown and went to the Henderson 250.
Okay, because I was going to ask, so you have raced that event before. I thought you had, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, so, I'm excited to get back out there, something, not new, but we haven't been there in a while to see what the terrain's like. And, I remember it being a good track out there, rough and, multiple lines in some of the sandy areas. So I'm excited for it. Yeah,
I remember the whole track because I used to love racing there. But I remember there was, they call it like Death Mountain. And it's on and you're going down that, and I think there's some points where we're like having a 3-point corner around this, and what is it, like 100, 200 foot cliffs on the right hand side? Like it's a gnarly mountain you go down.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, exactly, right? All right, Jason. Well, I appreciate it, man. Congratulations, and good luck at Terriblestown.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right, that was Jason Voss, your 2016 Baja 1000 overall champ, along with Rob McCachran. We're going to take a short break, and Amy and I, we're going to talk a little bit of endurocross and wrap up that season here after the break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Grab your girlfriends, brides-to-be, even your mum for a smoking hot night with the mates from Thunder from Down Under. Direct from Vegas, it's the Outback Fantasy Tour with the guys performing live at the Blue Water Resort Casino Saturday, December 3rd. Tickets available now inside the Blue Water gift shop for 2 shows, 6 and 9 p.m. Arizona time. Pre-sale only $25 and 35-day of show. Or online at bluewaterfun.com. Must be 21 or older.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Get ready for some serious country music from the one and only Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert Saturday, December 10th at the Blue Water Amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 3 Arizona time. General admission tickets in advance for $40. VIP tickets are $75. General admission day of the show is $60. Visit BlueWaterFun.com and reserve your tickets now. Dwight Yoakam live at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Don't miss it.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and going to talk a little enduro cross. Wrap things up.
I was a little bummed. I mean, I've been following enduro cross actually pretty closely this last little bit, just because we have on a lot of the riders, and I'm very surprised at the outcome of the championship, Jim. I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, great for Colton Hacker. I mean, congratulations to him. But, man, I'm really surprised. Cody Webb has been so consistent. And, he's 2-year prior champion, and I thought he was going to go for a third year. He's so talented. And, he posts a lot of really cool videos and interesting stuff. And he just looks like, he's in his element. And I was very surprised knowing that he didn't, wrap it up and win the championship going 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Colton, he was on point this year, man. It made it interesting anyways.
Definitely. Yes, and that's, and that's what we love. As fans, watching the sport, we love to see, it's always too bad when somebody just runs away with the championship and is gone and there's no competition and it's kind of boring. But, I mean, it definitely made for an interesting year. But I'm surprised. And it just, now we got a new man on top and we're going to have to bring Colton onto the show just because, we've talked to Cody so many times now, and he's no longer the king of the hill. So we've got to pick Colton's brain. I'd love to see how he's feeling now after that very well-deserved championship in enduro cross this year.
Yeah, he put in the work. He definitely, he's one we should get on. I think he might be one of those guys trying to qualify in for snowbike at X Games. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he might be trying that too. So definitely.
Well, now I think he has a little bit more confidence going into that, and I think. After, the high of a win, especially the championship win, you're like, okay, what's next? What am I going to do? I'm going to do this and this. Like, you just got to want to do it all because you got that big confidence backing you, So it'd be really cool to see him jump onto a snow bike. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. And then on the female side of things, Shelby Turner just obliterating the field, 6 out of 8 wins. And, Morgan had a pretty good run for second, but, I don't know. Shelby was just, man, that girl was unstoppable this year.
Oh, Canada. Go Canada.
Yeah, I know that's another one we got to reach out to and get on air. But, that wraps up kind of enduro cross. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We got some Black Friday specials coming, and then we got Joe Duncan on air to talk some snow bikes.
Woo!
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, Look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and got a nice little segment here. Thought, it's Thanksgiving week here in the U.S. and Black Friday on Friday. I hate Black Friday, by the way. I don't know. You ever go out on Black Friday, Hood? Do they still have Black Friday in Canada, even though you don't have Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we do, but it's subpar. It's not like
you don't have people.
Your Black Friday sales, we have memes over here in Canada about how crazy and gnarly, it's the American way. So go out.
It's crazy.
Stampede through Walmart, emptying out all the shelves and stuff. But I like Black Friday sale. Hello, I'm a girl. I like to shop. I like to get deals.
I
don't
hate
like
Black
to spend
Friday.
anything more than $20 on anything.
Yeah,
So.
I'll do Black Friday online. Like, seriously, I'm not going to go and get murdered. Literally, we got people murdering each other over a freaking Xbox or a Nintendo or something. It's like, seriously?
Jim, all I can say about that is America.
Yeah, well, yeah, Walmart is everything that's wrong with America. I'm sorry. That's just I'll never get a Walmart sponsorship, but they take away from, all the local vendors and things like that. Like, I don't know. There's so much wrong with we're going to get on to some Black Friday deals here. So
talk about Black Friday.
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah, so our friends at Dirtfish Rally School, starting Friday midnight, through Monday, 25% all classes and gift cards for classes. So head over to Dirtfish. Casey Highlights are having a Black Friday special. You're going to have to check out their website for those details. Our friends at racedesert.com, starting midnight through Cyber Monday. They got a big Black Friday sale going on, and I don't know everything that's included, but I know they're going to have like 50% off all of their shirts. MTX.com. You can go to MTX.com/holiday specials Friday through Sunday, and then all car, home, and portable audio is going to be on sale. Not all, but I think a good portion of it. Then our friends at Impact. They've got some Black Friday specials going on. Their stuff is all free shipping site-wide. They said for actual specials on products, go to their local dealers and go to their dealer's website. So, but if you order through Impact, free shipping. So,
what are you Black Friday shopping for? Like, do you need anything specific right now? Because I'm probably going to spend Black Friday shopping for some rims for my truck. I text you all the time about it, but I need some rims for my poor little Exchange Ranger. Yeah. She's looking subpar. I got to beef her up a bit.
Yeah, hang tight on that on the wheels. I'll get you dialed in at some point. But I don't know. My daughter needs a trampoline, so I don't know. Maybe our other one's got a big hole in the middle, so it's definitely not safe.
Yeah, no.
All right. We're going to take a short break. We come back. Joe Duncan on the line to talk some snow bikes and X Games.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and welcoming Joe Duncan on the line. Not wearing the Terracross hat this week, though. We're wearing the snow bike hat. What's happening, Joe?
How you doing there, Jim Beaver and Amy Hood?
We are awesome. I'm really excited to talk to you today. I'm overhearing the lineup you got for snow bike, the qualifiers to X Games, and I am so stoked. This sounds like an amazing race that I can't wait to watch. I mean, Jeremy McGrath, what? Am I hearing things right?
Well, he's definitely looking at it. There's nothing official yet. We have, you've seen the invite list. You don't beat that to kick this thing off. Ronnie Renner, Axel Hodges, Jackson Strong, and then two of the biggest names in snow bikes that help bring this sport to this level and get the exposure. Regan Sieg and Brock Hoyer. So it's
Brock, yeah.
Unbelievable. And then you can't forget about the guy, the myth, the legend in the moto world for doing the craziest stuff ever, Robbie Madison. So you put that group to kick this thing off. There's your top guys that are invited for the 2017 X Games in Aspen. Boy, what a nice way to kick this thing off. And then we have the qualifier coming up in Elk River, Minnesota at ERX Motor Park, December 17th. And I'm just excited to see all these names that are coming here because there's so many of them, we can't pick them. They have to come. They have to show that they're serious. They have to show that they want to be here, and we want to see them race. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, it's a dirt bike and a snow bike are not the exact same thing, so they need to get on them. They got to show their level of commitment, and they've got to come out and come and compete and have a great time. And you know, we have a big practice day on the 16th. 17th, X Games qualifier, the evening of the 17th, a dash for cash for over $5,000. And Sunday, we have the National Snow Bike Series that has been around since 2009, running events and basically is the, you know, kind of your your premier snowbike racing series out there right now, based out of the West for the most part, but expanding. Last year they ran an event in Minnesota, and I think they're looking at an event in Wisconsin, and then of course they're going to kick off their season right here at the X Games qualifier, or the qualifier in Elk River.
That's
and to tie that back to Terracross, I mean, that's where Terracross all started, was at ERX Motor Park and the building of it. So pretty cool event, and having it in the Midwest allows the guys from the East Coast. I think there's a trailer of 8 guys coming from the East Coast U.S., and there's like 4 or 5 coming from the East Coast Canada. There's some guys coming from the Midwest Canada and all over the Midwest. And then the Western guys traveling out this way. I heard there's a trailer of 8 coming from Canada right now. There's a trailer of like 6 or 8 coming from the Washington, Oregon area. So what a cool way to kick this thing off, and a lot of excitement in the snow world out there, and the motor world for that matter.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is the first X Games. You know, like you said, these guys got to qualify in, and there's only 8 more spots. I mean, you're going to have some legit, moto racers all trying to get in. I mean, this is I don't know. I think this qualifier might actually be better than X Games, Joe.
I know.
Well, I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
it's going to be really exciting. I want to see some moto people versus snow people, though. Like, I'd love to see that battle. Because, I mean, this is battle of both worlds. I mean, you got, the bikes versus, on the snow. So it'd be really interesting to see kind of if you have a top snowcross racer versus a top moto racer to really see who prevails. And I think that would make it so interesting. And, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm so excited. Like you said, I'm more excited for this qualifier. I'm definitely going to be driving down. I was kind of talking to Jim, but, I mean, Elk River's not very far for me. And I have a month off before my tour starts. So I'm trying to find some things to do, and I'm like, you better believe I will be there December 17th.
You better throw a track kit on your bike there, because I know we have a women's class for the national series, and we're probably going to run a women's class for the Dash for Cash. Why aren't you throwing a kit on that bike and coming down and doing some riding?
Hey, man, with age comes a cage. Now I race a 12,000-pound machine, and I got a roll cage and a 5-point harness. I love it.
It's snow, Amy. I think you can handle it.
I know. Okay, you know what? Honestly, if we can find, I would love to. I love snowmobiles. I'd like to say I'm actually a pretty decent snowcross racer. I raced a snowcross race in my lifetime. Doesn't that count for something? But I would love to. I mean, again, you give me something to race and I'll do it. So
you start putting your feelers out there, Amy. I'm sure there's someone with a snow bike that would be willing to help you out to get you down there.
I'm going to make a post on this. I'll put a post out on Instagram and see if anyone has this kit that I will put on my Yamaha.
Just text Renner.
If there is, I will go do it.
Just text Renner.
I think there's a ton of women that are gonna get all excited about this, because what a great opportunity, and what a great off season sport to come and have some fun with,
Oh, for sure. Oh, no, definitely. I really do think and again, you have so many women, like secret women, I'd like to say, like they're hidden from, social media and the world, who are outstanding snowcross racers or snowmobile racers, and who also drive motocross up here in Canada. And I think this would be an amazing opportunity for them, especially with a Dash for Cash. I mean, there's not many opportunities like that for girls in motocross. So I really think
look at our Terracross field, and how many of them could jump on a snow bike and be competitive right off the bat. Sarah Price, Jolene, yourself. I mean, just look at who could be competitive right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Are any of those girls lined up to do this at all? Have you?
You know what? We just released this yesterday morning, so I'm hoping to talk to. Actually, I got a text message into Jolene right now, and I'm going to send this off to all of our obviously Terracross people, and I think I think it's definitely something. If this thing grows like it's looking like it, there is 5 race series in the snowmobile world that have added snow bikes, and there's another 2 that have started up out of the blue. And I hear of 2 more snow bike events that have contacted me about them. So in the big picture, there's going to be lots of opportunities to race and run these things. And that's just the racing side of it. These machines, these snow bikes, these timber sled machines are made for the powder, and they are so fun in the mountains. Yeah. And when you can start grasping that moto person and that moto Colorado or Southern California person that has access to that winter terrain, and you can throw a kit on there for $4,000 to $6,000 and go ride and play in the snow. What a cost-effective, what an affordable way to go have fun in the winter and stay on your dirt bike without spending a bunch of extra money. I mean, it's a great sport outside of the racing side of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, definitely.
I know talking with. I know talking with Chris Brandt. I was talking to him about it out there at Terracross at Heydays, and Brandt had got his first experience not too long ago on a snow bike, and he was telling me, he's like, I consider myself a pretty good snowmobile rider. I laugh because Brandt's one of the best in the world as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But he goes, I could go places on a snow bike that I could never go on my snowmobile, and for Brandt to say that meant something.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. He has a fleet of 8 Huskies with timber sled kits on them sitting in his shop right now. Part of the new Brandt Backcountry Adventure Tours is you actually can go rent those from him down there in Buena Vista, Colorado, and you can go try these things out in the mountains. And if anybody has the opportunity, call Chris Brandt, email him, Facebook him. Chris Brandt's Backcountry Adventure, and go ride one of these snow bikes because they are unbelievable in that powder. They are just.
I might actually have to do that. I'm going to text Brandt when we get off air. Hey, dude, let's set something up. All right, Joe.
We're heading there in January. All right, thanks, guys. I got to jump on the next call.
All right.
All righty.
Thanks, Joe.
I'll see you in December.
Later.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We come back. Amy and I don't know, we got lots to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Camden.
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15%
10% discount.
Get ready for some serious country music from the one and only Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert Saturday, December 10th at the Blue Water Amphitheater at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 2. Show starts at 3 Arizona time. General admission tickets in advance for $40. VIP tickets are $75. General admission day of the show is $60. Visit BlueWaterFun.com and reserve your tickets now. Dwight Yoakam live at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Don't miss it.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Jim Beaver and Amy Hood here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And Hood, man, you got to be, I don't know, I think Joe kind of lit a fire in you about these snow bikes there.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it. I mean, I've been trying really hard to, I don't want to say ever that I'm, putting the bike in the garage, not taking it out anymore, transitioning to 4 wheels. I'm just really trying to stay focused and safe before my obviously first debut driving a Monster Jam truck at Nashville. And 2 wheels is dangerous, let's be honest. We don't got a roll cage. Even something that's fallen over in a corner, you can blow your shoulder out, or you can break a pinky, which is not a big deal. I'm not saying that, I'm going to go out there and do something terrible, but I ride aggressive. I am not somebody who can just go and, putt around, make an appearance. Like, if I'm going to race, I'm going to win. And that's my mentality, and that's why it's really hard for me to go and just leisurely ride for fun, because I like to push my limits. And that's just, who I am as a person. So I've got to make that conscious effort to take a step back until I at least get, my first season of Monster Jam racing under my belt, and then I'll be like, okay, come the summer, then I'll go race my dirt bike. But I've been trying to keep it cool. I've been in the position before where, before I went to World Championships over in Europe, I was playing around on my dirt bike at a friend's house, and I blew my shoulder out. And I've been there, I've done that. I'm just trying to play it smart, because this is the biggest. This is the biggest thing in my life, and it's a huge career, and it's a huge opportunity that I've been blessed with. And so I really want to, take this seriously and not screw up my opportunity to earn a spot at World Finals in Las Vegas. You know how it is.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, it's your first year. You don't want to call them and say, hey, 2 weeks before the thing, I raced snow bikes. Never done it before, but I decided I was going to race snow bikes. I broke my leg, and so I'm out for the year. Like, that is totally.
They would be so mad. Well, first off, I think they would say, "What's a snow bike?" Because let's be honest, all these people are from Florida and probably never even heard of that.
It's blowing up, man.
Most of them don't even know about ice racing. I'm like, yeah, I ice race. What's ice race? I'm like, I set up my dirt bike with tires. They're like, what? Like, they don't even understand. They can't even fathom us being outside in negative 30 degrees. So it's pretty funny, but I would love to. I'm still I'll probably shoot Renner a text after this and say, hey, do you have a kit? Maybe, like, if I can get the opportunity to have a bike, like, you better believe I'm going to show up and at least try practice. And if I feel like it's safe and it's something that I'm going to do, I'm just going to duct tape a couple pillows to my body and go out there and rip it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe get a bubble wrap suit.
Yeah. Well, I bet Renner probably got some extra bikes or something. I don't know. It'd be fun to try. I know, me.
There's somebody out there.
I've seen snow bikes.
I've never even tried it, though. It'd be pretty hard to go run up at a race.
I've
done it before.
Yeah. Renner told me, on the podcast, he was telling me, he says, he's like, I'm Renner. I'm a little bit arrogant here and there. And he says, first time I got a snow bike, I'm like, I can do all this stuff on a dirt bike. He's like, this ain't going to be no sweat. And he's like, dude, he's like, I sucked. He's like, I crashed like 6 times my first day. He's like, I'm getting texts from all these guys, like big name FMX and Supercross guys that are like, hey, I want to qualify in for X Games, and and he's like, they've never ridden a snow bike, and they're like, hey, I've never ridden a snow bike, but I think I can qualify in for X Games. How hard can it be? And Renner's like, he's like, I'm trying to be nice. But he's like, I'm telling him, you guys probably really ought to get a snow bike and go and practice quite a bit before you show up there. And he's like, how do you tell these guys? Yeah, he's like, how do you tell these guys that are all badasses, that this is kind of like, hey, you guys, you might not be real good at this. He's like, he's like, I'll be the first to tell you. He's like, I was sucked. He's like, I put in 2 years now, and he's like, I got to figure it out. But he's like, it's not easy. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Well, and I mean, a lot of those freestyle guys come from Southern California. I mean, yeah, they've snowboarded, but I can't believe how many athletes I talk to, moto athletes or freestyle athletes that I talk to, and I'm like, yo, have you ever driven a snowmobile? And they say no. I mean, if you don't have the concept of a ski and powder and actually driving anything in the snow, it's very different than just a dirt bike in like sand or the dunes. Like, it's completely different. And I mean, I still struggle a little bit with the snowmobile. I mean, they're hard to maneuver. They're really heavy.
You can't turn them. That was my biggest thing.
I know.
I mean, I've ridden dirt bikes I've ridden dirt bikes and quads my whole life. And I would say I'm not super good. I'd say I can hold my own on a dirt bike and on a quad. But like, I got on a snowmobile, I went into the first corner and I stuffed it into the snowbank, and I'm like, what in the heck just happened? Those things don't turn. I mean, it's
no, not at all.
And you see those guys like on when you watch the videos and stuff like that, and they've got all their weight on one side, and and trying to get the thing to turn, and it's because they don't turn. Like it takes some magic to get a snowmobile to work. There's a lot of
finesse that goes into turning a snow machine. That's for sure. It's very technical, and just like motocross or anything else, each sport has a very technical aspect to it, and I think turning that boat, I call it racing couches, because it's like a big old couch. And try like whipping the couch around the corner, it's not easy. But I mean, okay, I understand Renner, like, yeah, you're gonna suck. You like had some cockiness going into this, but I'm the exact same way. This is why Renner and I get along so good, and why we're like, brother sister version of each other. I mean, I like to think that I can show up to anything and figure it out, and and it's not cockiness. It's a little bit of confidence, and that's my way of pumping myself up to be able to, do things. But I like to think that I showed up to that Terracross race with maybe like 20 minutes of ever driving, a Polaris RZR in my life, and I showed up and hopped a 75-foot over-under. And I had no experience whatsoever driving a RZR, and I like to think I hold my own. I mean, I didn't do very good, but I didn't completely suck at the same time. So I definitely am one of those girls who has the confidence to show up, be handed some type of motorized activity vehicle, and be like, "Yep, I got this. Let me go."
Yeah. Well, you liked Terracross this past year because the tracks were more moto style instead of the crazy stunt woman style. Like it had a real good moto feel to it, and so I think somebody like you, where you're using the berms a lot, and I don't know, I was watching people with like motocross backgrounds, and they really were doing well. And I think now with the way the Terracross courses have kind of morphed, I think you would do really well at it. And I think especially after this year with Monster Jam, and you're running RZRs around, or whatever they're calling RZRs in Monster Jam, I think that Speedsters.
Monster Jam Speedsters.
Yeah. Them and Polaris just need to get it.
It's very technical too. I mean, I'm so fortunate enough to have raced Terracross, because it was really intimidating, and I can vouch for probably some of the other people who've never really been, but we got to go and jump up the pile. So the same wheelie hits that we're hitting on our Monster Jam truck, we are going in full force, like the log ride. It's like a triple log ride, and you're looking at this, and you're looking at your machine, and you're like, no way this thing can make it up that, because it's a vertical wall. And at Heydays, we had that vertical log ride that went down, and it's like a almost like a step up jump, but it was literally like a straight vertical log, obstacle, and there was no way that I would have been like looking at this machine being like, yeah, we can easily make it over this. But because of Terracross and having that experience of hitting that log ride, I was like, yeah, I got this, no problem. But it's really cool because that Terracross helped so much in my confidence kind of going into at least the speedster obstacle race. I mean, the racing aspect is very different because, most of the Terracross tracks are very loamy, some tore up dirt, and the Monster Jam arenas are hard packed, flat, very, very, very tacky dirt. And, we have to do, it's 2-lap races, and you're wide open cranking this thing into the corner. And all I'm thinking, like, I'm going to high side, great. Like, here we go. I really haven't been able to figure out how much I can push the limits of those speedsters. So that's why I really would like to, maybe Jim come out to Arizona before my first round and actually kind of test these babies and really see how far I can push it and how hot I can come into the corners. And, my brake throttle ratio, I need some more because it's very different being on a flat hard pack track to something loamy where you got some ruts, you got berms to work with. Here we don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely I don't know, it's going to be fun to watch you, Hood. I think I don't know, between the monster trucks and the Razors or Speedsters and and the ATV racing, like I don't know, I think you bring a little bit to the table from each of them, and I think it's definitely going to be a fun ride for you. So I don't know, I'm pumped on it.
For sure. I am too. I'm really excited. Again, I got a lot to learn. A lot is really understanding and knowing your truck. Which, let's be honest, I got no idea anything about anything 4 wheels. So I'm going to be working a lot with my crew chief. I got a really cool guy. I'm really excited. He's actually one of the best in the business and one of the most liked guy on the Monster Jam Tour, Dan Peach. And I'm super stoked to have him on board because we've been talking a lot. He's going to teach me a lot about the truck so I'd really be able to kind of know what's going on when I'm out there on the track. And that's your biggest asset is knowing what's going on, not just, when you're in there, but really behind the scenes and, under your butt, I'd like to say. Like, everything that's under and that you're working with is a huge asset to know what's going on. And dirt bikes, I know, because I was born, grew up with this. I know when something's wrong when I can hear, like, a ping or any little sound out of place. I know what's going on. But that's just because of my experience in it. So I got a lot to learn. Jim, I got to buy a book or something. Is there like a book I can learn about
Monster Jam for Dummies? All right. We got to take a short break. Yeah, we got to take a short break. We come back. We got Camden Murphy on the line. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. I'd like to welcome Camden Murphy to the line. How's everything going, Camden?
Hey. Oh, it's doing fantastic. I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem, man. So I gotta ask you, man, how does one go from being a NASCAR racer to a Monster Jam racer? Because I gotta tell you, man, it's like complete opposite ends of the planet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it definitely is. I've just been racing everything I possibly can, to be honest with you. I've been racing since I was 10 years old. I started out in these little cars called mini cup cars. They're like half-scale NASCAR cars, 9 feet long, 4 feet wide. And really just kind of stuck on asphalt my entire life. And once I got into this Monster Jam truck, that was my first time on dirt. And like you said, yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah. So, I mean, was there anything you were able to take from your NASCAR background to Monster Jam? Or, I mean, was it like all learning completely all over again?
I mean, it must have been.
Absolutely, actually.
From a dirt background, I mean, do you have any dirt experience either? Because I mean, that's a huge transition. At least, you know, being able to read dirt is a huge asset in, you know, any dirt sport.
Yeah, actually, I have no dirt experience whatsoever. And like Amy actually just said, reading the dirt is something that's totally new to me, to be honest with you. But at the same time, you have to read the asphalt when you're racing on a racetrack, and you know, any asphalt form of racing at all. You have to just tell, okay, if it's raining, obviously, yes, it's raining, but you have to take a completely different line. You have to pay attention to where that line is changing to. You don't run the normal line when it's raining, or say on the NASCAR tracks, the asphalt oval tracks, is the line starting to move up the racetrack? Where's that rubber? Where's all those marbles? Where's that junk on the racetrack that you want to avoid? And where's a little bit of oil maybe on the racetrack? You have to pay attention to your tires, too. You have to feel all that. I was listening to Amy earlier, and she was mentioning, you know, you have to notice all those different changes in the vehicles and stuff like that when things start changing, and say, you know, I don't know, start hearing the noise again. Like she said, you got to know where that's coming from, and you have to adjust everything. So it's definitely a big adjustment going to dirt, but I've found it to be very close to the same thing. It's just reading it. It's a different type of reading it, but I think we'll be all right.
Yeah. And I think that's really interesting that you say that because, you know, we got yourself, Justin Sipes, but it's really us three who come from a type of racing background. So I think we have a little bit advantage over, you know, a couple people who may not, you know, have that experience and actually understanding that, hey, you know, we got to look at this dirt. We got to go and walk the track and actually see how different, you know, of a playing field that we're working with compared to the weekend before, the weekend after. But I think, you know, the fact that we're racing the Monster Jam trucks, ATVs, and speedsters, having that racing background with understanding the dirt is going to be our biggest competitor and, you know, advantage and whatnot, that's going to be huge for us, I think, and, you know, give us a little bit of a leg up for the rest of the crowd.
Absolutely, absolutely. And well, the different buildings we go to, the different dirt we're going to have, and, you know, you might have some rocks in the dirt or something like that, and that might change the whole characteristic of the driving style you have to take, you know, into play. For example, when we were out at Monster Jam University, the very first couple times we were out there in the Monster Jam Speedsters, we were able to just slide around. It was real slick out there, but all of a sudden it started getting real tacky, and it started getting a lot of grip, and a lot of it started rolling over. So, yeah, like you said, you just have to go out there, take consideration of what's going on out there, what the dirt crew's taking care of on the racetrack, and basically what it looks like. And, it really takes us for a twist when we're doing the donuts, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, here's the question, Camden. Yeah, I mean, I look at your career, and obviously you're a young guy. You've driven, I believe, the Truck Series. You've driven, the Xfinity Series. I mean, it's got to be at a point where you're sitting there and you're working your way up the ladder of NASCAR, trying to get lock into a really good ride or something like that. I mean, and then this Monster Jam opportunity pops up. I mean, is this a direction you ever saw your career going?
To be honest with you, I didn't. I've always wanted to do it, just like Amy, just like yourself, and really anyone else that's diehard into motorsports, that lives, eats, and breathes it. They want to be in any form of motorsports possible. It doesn't matter what it is. They want to be doing it for the rest of their life. Now, I've always wanted to stay in NASCAR, and I still am. I'm still working on my NASCAR career as we speak, and we'll continue to even throughout the Monster Jam career. But, I never, ever saw myself going this way. I mean, I always wanted to fly these Monster Jam trucks high through the sky, but, it's just, it's a different experience. But, just like motorsports, any form of motorsports, it's all about the funding to get things going. And, unfortunately, that's where I'm at, and I'm sure where Amy's at, and just about anywhere else in the motorsports world is trying to find that funding to keep racing. And, but, in Monster Jam, it's a completely different opportunity, and I'm super, super excited about it, that's for sure.
Yeah, how did the whole Monster Jam opportunity come up? I mean, I know how Amy, how that originally happened with her, and obviously we've had Kristen Anderson on air, and she's got the family ties. But I mean, there's a lot of kids racing NASCAR and in stock cars and things like that. I mean, how did you and Monster Jam get tied in to make that that first trip to Monster Jam University for the tryout?
Sure. Yeah, no, honestly, it was just about just nonstop. Just reaching out to random people. It's just like trying to find the sponsors and partners to go racing. It's the same thing. I just kept reaching out to people, never known who to get a hold of, because it's all about knowing the right person. And I just so happened to meet the right person after working around it for probably a couple of years, and just happened to get to the right person, and that right person went to the other right person, and just kept going from there. So it's not that crazy of a story, but it's just a lot of hard work and dedication is where it got me at this point.
Dang,
well, and I say that all the time. It's not about, when you get to that point in your career, it's about who you know, and it's not just about racing. Being an athlete, and especially in the motorsports industry, I've raced my entire life, but all the people that I've met along the way is really who has opened doors for me for, to race Terracross, to get over to Europe to race World Championships, and now to obviously race in Monster Jam. It's not just about all those wins, but about the relationships that you make, how you carry yourself as a person, because that's going to dictate whether they like you enough to want to open a door for you. And it's really about being a well-rounded athlete with not just that end vision of winning races, but really looking at your career as a whole and, appreciating every little thing that comes along the way. And like I say, it's all about relationships, and that's what helps you have a long, a very long career in this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also it comes down to, if you have that dedication to go out and get those and make those relationships.
Yeah.
I've had times I've lived out of my car traveling from racetrack to racetrack, just hoping to meet the right people and get the right opportunities. And so I have, but, it's you got to do what you got to do, I mean, I'm going to the PRI show in Indy in December, and that's a big relationship and just big relationship building show. And just you got to go to each and every little show or racetrack or anything to open up these opportunities to meet the right people, to hope to make the right connections and opportunities.
Yeah. But that's what makes the story so much cooler, and so many of these rich motorsports kids, I like to say, their daddies, sell the farm to fund them to do what they want to do. And then there's people like us who live out of our vehicles and travel all over. And I mean, we got such a cooler story. And once, opportunity like Monster Jam comes around where then, you get that mama's made it moment, I like to say every little thing along the way just seems so much more worth it. And your story becomes so much cooler because you've had to persevere. You've had to live out of your truck. You've had to, do all these crazy things to get to where you are now. And it makes you appreciate the little victories so much more. And, again, it makes it way more fun. And that's what it's about. It's about the story.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
I think it's cool to hear a story like yours because, there's a lot of these guys in motorsports and things like that. They've always had funding or rich parents or things like that. But to hear, your story where, it's literally, I've said this before, you knock on doors, and, if nobody answers, you start banging on doors. And then if they don't answer, you climb through the window. And, that's kind of, I love hearing stories. I love hearing stories like you. I mean, it's like people think this is this glorious life being a race car driver or something like that. And here you're saying, hey, like literally I was sleeping in my car and things like that. And people don't see that side of things, the grind that it takes to get to a top level.
Yeah, exactly. And just like when you watch the NASCAR race on TV, a lot of people don't think of NASCAR as a whole lot sometimes, but, there's so much going on there, just in any motorsports world. But if you look at just those last 10 or so drivers, those are the guys that want it bad enough. Those are the guys that are sleeping out of their cars. Those are the guys that want it. Don't get me wrong, the guys at the top love it as well, but, the guys in the back are the ones that are truly, truly trying to fight for it and that don't necessarily have the funding behind them. The 2 races I did this year, I made my NASCAR Xfinity Series debut, and that was just kind of hey, we need someone. We know you're reliable. We know you're going to bring the car home in one piece. We need you to race this race for us. Just finish it. And then I got a call to run a starting park in Canada in the truck this year at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So you're just kind of hoping for these little last-minute opportunities. But, they're not granted in winning equipment and stuff like that. But you know what? You're still there, and you're still making more relationships and opening up more doors for yourself.
Yeah, shaking hands and, and getting business cards. And like I've told people, too, you meet somebody and a lot of people think something happens in a week or something like that. Like I've met people and it took 4 years to ever, have something mature into something. It's not an overnight thing. But like you said, you just build the Rolodex and hopefully at some point, somebody calls.
Exactly. And you almost, at times, going to have to be annoying. You just have to continuously reach out to them and persistence, and then that's a big thing a lot of people lack too. Yeah, they'll reach out to someone they just met, but they don't stay consistent with it. I mean, you're never gonna get anywhere unless you just keep trying.
Yeah.
Never gonna get anywhere sitting on the couch. Well, I mean, Camden, we got a month off now before our first round in Nashville. Tell us a little bit about your truck. I mean, we talked to Kristen, obviously. I just want to get to know a lot of the athletes a little bit more and kind of tell our fan following about all the trucks. But you're driving Pirate's Curse. What are you going to do? I mean, it's a fairly new truck as well. Like, what are you going to do to kind of set yourself apart? I mean, I obviously got the zombie moto chick aspect. Kristen, she's got the badass gravedigger background. But, you're coming into this from a completely different sport. So, you got a lot of eyes on you. How are you going to make this unique and, rope in your fans, my little pirate?
Yeah, we're going to try a bunch of different things. I'm actually working on a lot of different things to try to incorporate in all this, create the brand, create myself a Pirate's Curse. I'm super, super excited about it. The truck's only been around this year, so this is its very first year. Steven Finn has been driving it mainly. Charlie Pauken drove it a little bit as well. So there's some big names that have been in it. But, I'm really excited to get it going. I've got a couple things that I'm working on. I'm going to keep them myself, for now. But I'm going to take this month to perfect them, and then we'll announce them. We'll show them out to the world. But no, I'm just doing a couple of little things, like you mentioned, and like we did at Monash University. I had my pirate hat. I'm sticking to my pirate hat. I love wearing hats. So I think that's just a unique little way to try to connect with the fans. But honestly, we got a lot of really interesting things that I'm trying to put together right now, and I'm really, really excited about it.
Nice.
That's cool. I'm excited. I got to work on that too. I got to develop my own shtick, I guess. Bari's done such a good job. We got big shoes to fill. I mean, we're kind of coming in as rookies, obviously, and all these different athletes have done such a good job of, creating their own brands around their, the vehicles that they're driving, but not just their vehicles. Brands as their own individual athletes who are very unique. A lot of them have their own individual messages, and we got our shoes to fill. I mean, definitely. What are you most excited for this year? I mean, is it the tour life? Is it competing? Is it fans? Is it what are you really looking to get out of this experience of in first quarter? I kind of like to know where your head's at.
Sure. Yeah, no. Honestly, I love traveling. It's what I've been doing. It's what I'm used to, just like yourself and stuff like that. But honestly, interacting with the fans. The fans are the best, and that's what makes you so humble. I've been, I know we shared this with you last week. I shared this with you, last week, where, when I made my first NASCAR debut and seeing all the fans that are out there and, just living in the moment and just really realizing how fortunate you are. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is just seeing all the fans and just being able to interact with every single one of them, because it's just so humbling. And I love that interaction. And the fans, honestly, is what I'm super, super looking forward to.
All right. Well,
and how insane are the Monster Jam fans compared to anything else? Like, I've done a few different sports, and there is nothing like these Monster Jam fans. They're absolutely unreal. I mean, the day we got announced, there was like 100 different memes and pictures and photos and, from all these different fans. And it's really mind-blowing. I did not know how, devoted the Monster Jam fans really were. It's pretty cool. It's surreal.
Yeah, I know. The Monster Jam fans are absolutely incredible and absolutely awesome. They're so dedicated to every single one of their drivers, their athletes, and it's really awesome to see. And like you said, when the announcement was made, I mean, just every single social media was just off the hook with all these Monster Jam fans following us, keeping up to date with us. All like you said, the memes were just out of this world. They're awesome. But, I've never seen anything like it. The NASCAR fans are awesome. They're great. But the Monster Jam fans are just different. They set themselves apart, and I just love them. They're so awesome. And the pit parties, I'm super excited for them.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Camden. We got to go to a short break, but good luck this year, and looking forward to seeing you out there in Pirates Curse.
Yeah, you got it. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for having me on. I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, buddy.
Camden. I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered, packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. Just wrapping up a show where we got to hang out with a couple of Baja 1000 champs, the dude behind Snow Bikes at X Games, and a new Monster Jam driver. Man, we're killing it, Hood.
Yeah, we always got the best people on. Pretty stoked, like I said, for Branden, though. I mean, I love it when we call it.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to want to come on more before their show. Or before their event, because I think we're good luck.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think back. I have to look back at what we've done this year, what events we've called. I know we called Keegan Kincaid at Camden, and we had him on before the race, and we had to have him on after the race. We've done it a few times this year where we've called it. So, yeah, it's kind of fun when it all works out that way. But
yeah, I know. It's awesome.
All right, well, we are definitely going to wrap things up here, but don't forget, use that coupon code at Dirtfish, JB Dirtfish, for 15% off, or MTX. It's my last name, Beaver. That is Beaver. And, man, we got Black Friday deals going on with Dirtfish, Casey Highlights, Race Desert, MTX, Impact. So, definitely be watching their social media because all kinds of stuff's going to be popping up this week. Make sure and give me a follow. It's at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. Amy is at AmyHood71. Got to give a big thanks to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, MTX, Impact, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to my new podcast, Project Action, on Podcast One. My guest this week is going to be Katie Osborne. She is the host of the Power Nation on Spike TV, and a lot of you remember her from Red Bull Global Rallycross. Her and I used to do radio and host together. Lots of fun with Katie Osborne. I don't know, what do you got going on this week, Hood?
Oh, not much. Just training. Going to attempt to go back to hot yoga today, and just get my butt in gear and working really hard in the gym on this off season. All
right. Well, make sure and survive hot yoga. All right.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. On behalf of Amy Hood, I'm Jim Beaver. We'll see you next week. Be safe, as always. Game on.